Are you guys gonna do the pledge? Okay. Okay, let's see.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stay. Okay, item number 1 on the agenda, local school improvement council, Herndon Consolidated Elementary School and Middle School. Mr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Childner. Board members, I'm really pleased to be here at Herndon Consolidated this morning. Can't wait to hear some of the great things going on here at Herndon. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Principal Ms. Annie Bailey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Herndon. We're glad you're here today. We're glad to be here, actually. Oh, crazy.
It's been the wildest winter, hasn't
It has.
That's more coming this weekend.
I know. I'm ready for spring.
I'll say those bad words.
Come on, Mike. Hang it on.
I apologize. We had this ready, but this thing shut down.
Technology is the best until it's not.
That is so true. At some point, do you need to know about that?
Yes.
Yes, it's very important.
Ms. Bailey, do you want him to speak as part of your LSIC presentation? I'm confused. Okay.
It's a parent.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna be presenting, our data from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2. To start with, this is our K-2 iReady. This is kindergarten ELA, and you can see, we have growth from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2. Your benchmark 1 is on the left and your benchmark 2 is on the right. And we've shown significant growth. Students moving to mid or above grade level and early on grade level, which reduced their one level below category. Their strengths and weaknesses, areas for improvement for ELA, phonological awareness, vocabulary and comprehension, and their areas for improvement, phonics, and high frequency words. This is kindergarten math benchmark with 1 and 2, still on the left. Even though it says 2, that is benchmark 1. So that is benchmark 1 on the left, and on the right is benchmark 2. You can see we had some growth. We've been out a lot of days, and we're hoping for more growth for our next benchmark. There are strengths and areas for improvement. The strengths are numbers and operations, geometry and measurement, areas for improvement, algebra and algebraic thinking. And the plan of action for areas of improvement. In ELA, for kindergarten, more in-class reading and take-home readers, doubling up on high-frequency word work, building words, Play-Doh mats, doing small group centers, and their I-Ready pathway. For math, the use of manipulatives and using their I-Ready pathway, and utilization of our interventionists and Title I teachers. This is our first grade ELA benchmark. You can see on the first benchmark we didn't have any early on. We had a few that was mid or above. So we have had a little growth in that area on benchmark 2. The strengths for ELA, the first grader strengths are phonological awareness and high frequency words. Their areas for improvement was comprehension in literature and informational text. This is our first grade math benchmark. We had some growth there. We had some students move up to mid or above grade level, which reduced the part 1 grade level below and the 2 grade levels below for benchmark 2. The strengths for first grade math was numbers and operations and algebra and algebraic thinking. Areas for improvement, measurement and data and geometry. A plan of action for first grade areas of improvement, ELA, small group instruction, flashcards, stations, reteach, review, ABC Mouse and I-Ready pathway. For math, stations, small group, peer tutoring, flashcards, ABC Mouse, reteach, review, and the I-Ready pathway, and utilization of our interventionists and Title I teachers. This is our second grade ELA benchmark. You can see it shows we had some growth. We don't have any students that are 2 to 3 grade levels below on the second benchmark. And we reduced the 1 grade level below. The strengths and areas for improvement for second grade ELA, the strengths is phonological awareness and high frequency words, weaknesses, comprehension literature, and comprehension informational text. The math benchmark, we definitely had some growth there. You can see on the benchmark 1 for second grade, we had a very large number of students that was 2 grade levels below, and on the second benchmark we do not have any students that are 2 grade levels below, so they've moved up in those categories. The bar over here, this is a student that has not been tested, so that's what that is. So second grade math strengths and areas for improvement, the strengths was numbers and operations, and areas for improvement was geometry. The plan of action, ELA, small group instruction, peer collaboration, reteach, review, ABC, Mouse, explicit instruction on text features, building fluency, and I-Ready pathway. Math stations, small group instruction, peer tutoring, flashcards, ABC Mouse, reteach, review, and I-Ready pathway. And our utilization of our interventionists in Title I for those guys as well. This is our benchmark data for 3 to 8, grades 3 through 8. They take the Cambium assessment. This is our third grade ELA. You can see we had growth from the first benchmark to the second benchmark. We reduced the does not meet students that do not meet, and moved them up into the partially meets and some to the exceeds and on grade level or meets. ELA strengths and areas for improvement, strengths, phonological awareness, reading standards for informational text and for literature text also. And areas for improvement is informational writing. The third grade math benchmark, we also show a little bit of growth from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2. We had some students move up to exceeds and reduce that does not meet category. The math strengths and areas for improvement, strengths, measurement and data and geometry, areas for improvement, number and operations, and base 10 and fractions.
Which that's very unusual for that grade level with the geometry and the measurement data, their strengths. They're usually very weak in math, and I think I noticed second grade was the same way. Their strengths was in that, so I'm very happy to see some geometry. Usually they don't get to that geometry section until the end of the year or after this test is taken, so they're trying to incorporate that in the beginning of the year and keep it rolling all throughout the year, so I'm really pleased with that.
So the plan of action for third grade, for ELA, small group instruction, peer collaboration, read, teach, review, think, pair, share, more writing activities, and independent reading with story maps. For math, stations, small group instruction, peer tutor, flashcards, read, teach, review, and hands-on manipulative, and the ALEX program, and utilization of our interventionist and Title I teachers. This is a fourth grade reading benchmark for 1 and 2. You can see we did show some growth here. We decreased does not meet students, and they moved up to partially meets or meets the meets category. The fourth grade ELA strengths and areas for improvement. The strengths was reading standards for literature, and areas for improvement was informational writing. Fourth grade math benchmark. We also had some growth here. We decreased that does not meet category and had students move to partially meets or meets standards. Math strengths and areas for improvement. The strengths were in operations and algebraic thinking, and areas for improvement was measurement, data, and geometry. Plan of action for fourth grade, ELA, small group instruction, peer collaboration, read, teach, review, think, pair, share, more writing activities, and independent reading with story maps. For math, stations, small group instruction, peer tutoring, flashcards, read, teach, review, hands-on manipulatives, and continued coaching, and the ALEX program, utilization of interventionists in Title I. This is our fifth grade ELA benchmark. You can see we decreased that does not meet in the red. We decreased the students that scored in the does not meet category and moved them up to partially meets or meets. Fifth grade strengths was writing, and areas for improvement was reading standards for literature. This is our fifth grade math benchmark. We did show a little bit of growth. We moved some students from does not meet to partially meets and meets. Not as much growth here, but still a little bit of growth.
These are the students that we call our pandemic kids. You know, they missed all that kindergarten, first grade, because, well, it's fourth grade and fifth grade. We call our pandemic kids that struggle more with their math and the reading.
So the fifth grade math strengths was measurement, data, and geometry, and their areas for improvement was numbers and operations, and base 10 and fractions, and operations and algebraic thinking. Plan of actions for ELA for fifth grade is small group instruction, peer collaboration, read, teach, review, think, pair, share, more writing activities, and independent reading with story maps. For math, stations, small group instruction, peer tutoring, flashcards, read, teach, review, and the ALEX program, and utilization of their interventionist in Title I. This is their sixth grade ELA benchmark. You can see we did have some growth here. We had students that moved from meets to exceeds. Sixth grade ELA strengths, reading standards for informational text, and reading standards for literature, and the area for improvement is writing and language standards. Here's the sixth grade math benchmark. You can see we had growth here also. We moved those students that from does not meet to partially meets to meet standards. So the sixth grade math strengths and areas for improvement, the strengths was geometry and statistics. Areas for improvement was ratio and proportional relationships. The teacher just started this standard when the kids took this benchmark, so she feels like that's why that this was an area for improvement. She gave me some highlights that all students in sixth grade showed an increased scale score. 7 students increased 50 points or more. 4 students increased from does not meet to partially meets. 1 student increased from partially meets to meets, and 1 student increased from does not meet to meets. So that's some really great things going on in as far as math class. So plan of action for improvement. For ELA, continue with daily bell ringers that focus on grammar conventions and mechanics, require more reading of informational text, independent and small groups with task cards. And for math, continue covering standards, continue using practice test questions from Candy and for bell ringers, review, reteach, and Alex. Ms. Farley utilizes Quiz a lot, and she'll take the Candy practice questions and put them in that program, and that's the kids' bell ringers every day. And they know they come in, they get their computers, they do however many questions that she assigns for that day, and she keeps track of a percentage. And she kind of makes it a game for them, so they really like that.
Also, Miss Farley pays for that
Yes.
out of her pocket. So next year with Title I funding, we want to try to get that for the other middle school teachers.
This is our 7th grade ELA benchmark. You can see we did have a little growth here. A little bit more moved up to exceeds. So our 7th grade ELA strengths was reading standards for informational text and reading standards for literature. The areas for improvement was writing and language standards. The 7th grade benchmark, you can see, had significant growth. We had students that moved up to exceeds from several of the categories, meets, partially meets, and does not meet. As you can see on the first benchmark, we didn't have any exceeds, and then on the second benchmark, we had 35%.
What was the problem with testing? With people not testing in the blue there?
It was only on the 2nd grade one, and that student is not in school right now. He's in after school.
That's just one person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it was only on the 2nd grade.
Okay.
So 7th grade math strengths and areas for improvement. So strengths was ratio and proportional relationships, and areas for improvement was geometry. The highlights for the 7th grade math, all but 1 student in 7th grade showed an increase in skill scores. 3 students increased by 50 points or more. 1 student increased from does not meet to partially meets. 2 students increased from partially meets to meets. 1 student increased from partially meets to exceeds, and 4 students increased from meets to exceeds. So our plan of action for 7th grade, for ELA, read and write poems and analyze poems presented in Study Sync. Continue with daily bell ringers that focus on grammar conventions and mechanics. Require more reading of informational text, and independent and small groups with task cards. For math, she's going to continue covering her standards, continue to review formulas needed, as well as various ways they need to use the formulas, Continue using practice test questions from Cambium for bell ringers, review and reteach, and the Alex program. Here's our 8th grade ELA benchmark. You can see they also shown growth. We decreased the partially meets and moved up to meets. Her strengths for ELA was reading standards for literature, writing and language standards, and areas for improvement was reading standards for informational text. This is our 8th grade math benchmark. You can see they also have shown growth. They decreased this does not meet category, and we added some in the exceeds standards category and moved up in these standards as well. The 8th grade math strengths and areas for improvement. The strengths was geometry, statistics, and probability. The areas for improvement was functions, and she said that she just started covering the functions when they took this benchmark, so that she expects that to be approved on the next benchmark. The highlights for 8th grade math: all 8th grade students showed an increase in skill scores. 7 increased by 50 points or more. 3 students increased from does not meet to partially meets. 2 students increased from does not meet to meets. 1 student increased from partially meets to meets, and 1 student increased from meets to exceeds. The plan of action for 8th grade. For ELA, she's going to continue with the daily bell ringers that focus on grammar, conventions, and mechanics, require more reading of informational text, and independent and small groups with task cards. For math, she's going to continue covering her standards, continue using practice test questions from Cambium for bell ringers, review, reteach, and continue using the Alex program. Okay, that concludes my data presentation. Ms. Marsh is going to present celebrating success.
Miss Bailey,
Yes.
what are bell ringers?
Bell ringers is something the students do as soon as they come into class. They usually know what it is already. Like for Miss Farley, the kids get their iPads and they log into a program, and there's so many questions, maybe 3 to 5 questions that takes just a few minutes, and that's kind of a constant review in Miss Farley's class of the concepts taught.
Sometimes they'll have them written on the board, but her class just automatically comes in and gets their iPads. I'm gonna let you. Also, all that information and the action plans come from our data dives that we have monthly, and we all get together and work on those action plans and, and talk about what we need to do next. So, I told Miss Bailey that I would make this short and simple, but once I started going through all these pictures, I'm like, oh, we gotta show this picture, So I'll try to talk quickly and just give you some sort of an idea of what we're doing in the pictures. In this picture, this is 9/11 of last year, and we gathered around the flagpole and had a moment of silence. So. And these are our attendance poster winners for the school. And this is our 3 through 5 basketball and cheerleaders. And this is kindergarten through 4th grade. They went to the Chuck Athena Center and watched the Cat Kid musical. I thought that was a really good picture. And some students practicing their CBC words. And this was our top salesman. I think her name was Corey. She sold a lot of donuts. She's got a little cash prize there. She was our #1 donut sales girl. And these students won the First Lady Christmas Ornament contest at our school. And these guys are playing a little bit of Gaga in gym class, and the county bought them this great little blow up. It blows up so they can play their little Gaga game in And this is our 3 through 5 girls basketball. They were county runners up in the Class B. So they look pretty happy there. And this is our volleyball girls. They won 7 and lost 5. They placed 4th in the county tournament and only had 7 players.
Oh.
So we only had 7. And this is our Halloween character parade. And another one from our Halloween character parade. And a few pictures from our trunk or treat. We had at least 40 parents and community members to come and participate with that. We had the parking lot full with parents and the communities and churches. And these are our sports teams. They were able to participate in the Wyoming East Homecoming Parade. And another picture of the parade. And this is our varsity boys basketball, 6 through 8. So far they had 12 wins and 3 losses this year. The 3 losses were against Class A schools, and we're Class B. Oh, is that the JV? Okay, so that's the JV team. The varsity's on in there somewhere. Okay. And so we got some kindergarten students here doing a science experiment, and they're working on tornadoes in a bottle. There's some more pictures of their tornadoes. And kindergarten working on their letters with some shaving cream. And this fella sent his letter to Santa Claus. They all wrote letters to Santa Claus. We had a mailbox set up for them. And these guys are our math field day participants. Brandon and Jesse are going to go on and participate in the regional competition. So all 5 of them placed within first through the 10th place in their age category. So I think we had a 10th place and a 3rd place and a 5th place. But Brandon and Jesse will be going on to the regional math field day. And these guys got to go on a Christmas trip to the movies. And then they went and ate at McDonald's. And 4 through 8, I think it's 4 through 8 got to go to the New River Gorge this year. That's the first trip that we've made to the New River Gorge. I was very excited to get that set up. They took bag lunches. You see how pretty of a day they had. And of course, a lot of them never seen the New River Gorge. It's still the New River Gorge. And this is a group picture of them. And another group picture. And this is our open house meet and greet. We had a movie night, Title I. Was able to give out all their information about Title I, and we bought a brand new blow-up movie screen. And so we had it outdoors, and we had a big crowd, a lot of success with that. And these fellas or gals are working on their addition math facts with the Title I funding. And these guys are working on colors and shapes. And these 3rd graders are working on math skills in stations. And these guys are working on their number recognition. I have a hopscotch rug that sits right here, and so they were doing number recognition. Trip to the pumpkin patch. The lower grades, kindergarten through 3rd grade, went to the pumpkin patch this year. Pre-K, yeah.
That one up there at Oaks or up at Stevenson?
MJM
Stevenson.
on Tracy's Mountain.
Tracy's Mountains.
MJM.
Okay, yeah.
You can see they all had a good time. They all got to bring home their own pumpkin. And we had several winners, and with the reading fair, and this is Braylon Sizemore. She placed second in the county. And Brinley Ray, she placed first at our school, and I can't remember how well she did at the county. I couldn't find it on her. And all of them placed first place here at our school to go on to the county. So
The
all
lady
these
behind there said she came in third.
third, okay, third grade. Thank you. And Kendra Matthews, she placed second. And Maverick Belcher, I think he placed third. And there's our Natalie Sizemore. She placed first. She got all the way to the regionals. So she placed
great.
first here at our school, the county, and then she went to the regionals. So congratulations to Natalie. And these guys are showing off their snow globes in their art class. And the next 5 are pictures of our students of the month. They all get their little certificate and their pictures taken. And these guys went to the spelling bee, the county spelling bee this year. And they are judging our pre-K kindergarten turkey coloring contest. Our students get the student body, I bring them all down and they go up and they get to pick which one they want. They have numbers on it. They put it their one that they want to win in a bag.
They look like they took that very seriously.
They were like, mm-hmm. And then there's our winners. We send those home and, they get something that they can do with their parents. And this one's got a trunk. This one's got crayons. This is a Batman. And this one is a Santa Claus turkey. They get creative with them. And this is the whole school, the whole student body and staff. We were celebrating Counselor Week. And our counselor is right there. Ashley Lusk. She's awesome. She's awesome. And the last picture is our students. We had a pajama party during the day. They got to see a movie because they all met or exceeded their standards on their last year's West Virginia General Summit of Assessment. So they got to come in and watch the movie. We bought them medals and recognized them, nachos and cheese, popcorn. So that was a good day. They all enjoyed it. And that concludes it. Told you I'd be fast. Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, I promise we will not take up much of your time. Okay, Natalie Sizemore. It'll be okay.
You got this, Natalie. You got this.
Elena and Des.
Come on,
Come on,
guys.
babies.
Don't be shy.
I think they're more nervous than I get, so, but it'll be okay. For the past 3 years, I've been able to do tutoring / enrichment after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays with the kids. And, Natalie's been with me all 3 years. Des has been with me for the past 2. And Elena in the middle. She was able to come this year and start staying like after we had already started. If you want to show them, you can go ahead and start setting it up. Thank you. What they're going to be doing is setting up a TV bot. We were able to go, the teachers in the county were given the opportunity to go to a PLC at the board office after school to see how these robots as well as some Sphero robots would work. Thankfully, Ms. Mitchell was able to purchase the one for the school. It's kind of like an introduction to coding. It's a color coding. When I gave it to the students, I gave it to them and said, okay, here you go. Figure out what it does. What does the colors do? I know you did. And you did very well at it. Okay. Des has worked with them a little bit. He was more in the line of coming in with the VR. day that Elena or Lele was using it, I told her, I said, you know what? I said, do you want to try computer coding using Scratch? Because the kids can do this one. It's like a block coding. They just drag and drop and get the characters to do what they wanted to do on the screen. She looked at me, nah, I don't think so. So we want to try this. Lele, would you like to tell them what you thought of it that day? First time you got that out and you were able to use it. It was fun. She had no idea that she was actually coding something. She didn't know that the colors, I tricked her. And I looked at her.
You didn't know what you did?
Yes, I did. I mean, I knew what you were doing,
Yeah.
okay? And I looked at her and said, do you realize you just used computer coding to do something? She looked like, you're kidding. As with computer coding, it's based on algorithms. You have to do things step by step. If you don't do what you want, then you just go back and you figure out where you messed up and you redo it. They found out that with the cards, you don't have to make a big elaborate path. They found out that they had to do one thing in particular, or Indy, which is the type of robot it is. I know, Lele wants to name it Bob, so we call it Bob instead. It has its own thing that it will do, but you have to start with the one particular color, or it will do absolutely nothing. So what they're doing is setting up their path to get it to do what they want it to do. Okay? Remember, you gotta turn it on. So what is it gonna do? What color does it have to go on before you can get it to do anything else? The green. Green for go. Red is stop. And once it reaches red, it'll stop. Then the other colors have different.
That one makes a weird noise, I don't know why.
Okay.
That one makes a spin.
Pink makes it go which way?
This way.
That way? At a 90-degree angle or a 45-degree angle? A 90-degree angle. A 90-degree angle. So if you want it to just go a little bit, then you use the other color. And she sat there, tried to figure out which way she wanted it to work. She figured it out, got them to do what she wanted it to do, had it out in the hallway. We've not been able to have enrichment due to snow, and the last time we were here, they were painting the hallway upstairs, which looks great, by the way. But she wasn't able to go out in the hallway, so she had this long space to make this long, elaborate path. So, we also have Ozobots that we were able to get. Those are fun. You got to use the Ozobots, same premise, color coding, but you can actually use block coding with the computers. We were able to get those during right after the pandemic that summer for Summer Squad, and use those during that time. We still use them. So which one do you want? Okay, it's okay. The day that she was, I won't tell on you, Lele. Is that okay? The day that she was with me, she didn't know what she wanted to do, and she couldn't come up with anything. And I said, well, let's try this because this is something you've not used yet. By the time that she left that day, she didn't want to leave. She wanted to stay. So, but it helps with problem solving, figuring out what you want to do, which steps that you need to take in order to do something. And that's all the basics of computer coding, because if you don't figure it out, then you work till you do. I'll give you about 1 more minute. Do things always work out the way we think they would? And is that okay?
Yeah.
Why is that okay? Do you learn from mistakes? Do you learn from your mistakes?
Yes.
You do. All right. You got 30 seconds. like Jackson did, all green. You're right, it does just say there. Got any idea what it is?
That what you did? Which verse? This one.
Orange sends it back, blue sends it back, and the other way. Purple sends it.
So
While
you
they're
sent it.
finishing that out for their really quickly here. Harley, I think you were telling me you were nervous, you're not quite so bad. Title I was able to purchase a different classroom VR system for the school, this past year that they can use. We had the VR from before I came back to work that the students can go in and they can use it, but with it, you're up and moving around and that comes with the danger of who's gonna get hurt. With this system, you don't even have to leave your seat. You can actually sit where you are and all you do is turn your head or turn your body in your seat to look at what it you're doing. And that was the one thing that Des said that he wanted to do. So Des, you wanna go get one of the headsets. They should be on, okay?
Yeah.
I'll have to get you connected though, okay? The good thing with the class set is it comes in its own little case that's over there. There are 8 units per headset. And, the teacher can go through, look at the lessons and the different things that are available.
Nope.
Almost. Almost got it.
There we go. Just goes out by angles. 90, 90, 90, 45.
Great job. Almost. With the VR, all 8 students can be on it. 8 students in the classroom can be on it at the same time. You can actually see what the students are doing up on the screen while they're doing it. You know exactly what they're at and they can't get to something different. Almost.
Thank you.
Where's purple at? You wanna make it stop and scan?
Yeah, second.
This. Go ahead and put it on. Can you see anything there? It should be on.
Also with the VR, you can do reading, math, science, social studies, history. We're also in the process of getting 8 more headsets. So that would be a total of 16, which most of our classes are very small.
That should about cover it. If you go in, and you can go in by the subject, English, math, science, history, art and design, biology, chemistry, citizenship, we are able to do voting booths right before election. But it shows all of the different,
like,
you
we
switch
switch
to
subjects, the pink one.
they have to be lined up for it.
I know you know. Yeah, students.
The pink one.
Okay, I don't know what I do. I just switch it in.
Okay, but anyway, while she's finishing up and making sure, all right, this is the last one, right? Maybe, if it works.
If it works,
Did you see your problem finding mistakes? Yeah, I'll try just a little bit. Can you see anything?
You got high gear.
Alright, ladies, this is the last time.
Is that about the same principle?
Okay.
You want that?
So we're
Is
gonna
that
look
the
at
same
first.
principle?
Des, can you see anything? Okay.
Now I can't see anything.
You got one there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not.
Great job.
Callie, will you just kick this back out of the way real quick? Des, do you see anything or not? Is it live? Well, bring it here, baby. Take it off first. The good thing with those is you can actually see through them when the thing's not on there. If it's off though, you're just out of luck. Oh, it's on.
Turn off for me.
It turned off for you. Okay, go try one of the other ones instead. And we'll see what happens. Okay? I'll take this one, you go try another one. If it's not touching your head, then it doesn't do anything. And it will actually
No,
shut
because
off.
Your forehead is the center, makes it stay on.
Uh-huh, it has to be in the center or it doesn't.
If you, even if your head is out of it, you can put something on top of it and it'll still be on. Okay, I can see.
Can you see?
Mhm.
All right, so they have no idea, or he has no idea what's gonna come up. Because
Teleports to all kinds of first
the first time that I let you all do it,
Yeah, you teleported us everywhere.
I did teleport you everywhere, you're right. Okay, so you must be Clever Jackal.
What?
He's Clever Jackal, that's the headset that he has on right now. They all have different names, so you can figure out which one is which. And you can see what he is seeing right now. You have a joystick that allows you to go forward, backwards, to the side. That's why you don't, yes, remember, you don't have to actually walk, okay? And students aren't bumping into things in the room, but they can still get an idea. Sixth grade, we've been talking about, is it working? Okay. You're sparkling up. Sixth grade has been looking at biodiversity in different areas and biomes. So last week we got it out and we actually did look at coral reefs. So can you go anywhere with that one? All right, Des, I'm getting ready to send you to a new one. And Natalie, you start feeling. Natalie has a condition with her eyes that sometimes will mess with her. And she's not necessarily supposed to be on the VR. Now what do you see, Des? It's not what I'm supposed to. I can see you looking though. What do you see there? It's white. A shark. The title of that one is Diving with Sharks in Cuba. So that would simulate kind of like being there in the ocean with the sharks. I got an extra one out. If they don't get motion sick.
Is there anybody want to try one of them?
You don't actually have to put it on, you can just look through it. Okay. Now, in sixth grade, it's okay. With, might have been eighth grade actually, the way that our textbooks are now, we talk a little bit about the Galapagos Islands. This is when it can be used a bit. They can get a little bit of an idea of when they look. Rainforests, we talked about how that the rainforests have things in them that we don't even know what all is there as of yet, and that there may be cures for different types of cancer and different things.
Why am I so hard?
I don't know, why are you so high up? And I just moved you now to the Brazil rainforest. See if that one will let you move a little bit. Well, no. Okay. If that one doesn't, then the next one probably should. Yes, we are. Last one. use the joystick. There's also things called merge cubes that have been around for a while that you can use with this too, but there's not any on this that you can use. You can hold a merge cube in your hand like a heart and focus on it, and you can actually turn that merge cube around and see all the different sides and positions of the heart
What is this?
too. So, and that way they actually get a visual better than just a 2D picture.
What is this?
Like this.
You're in a rainforest, baby. All right,
Why is it?
you go ahead and take it off and turn it off for me,
Why is it?
because that's where I put you.
Why is it?
Okay. We've used the VR in enrichment and different things. I try to focus on things that the students like and that's going to be beneficial to them, even if it's just social emotional or if it's encouraging them in something that they've not been able to do yet, and bring them out of their shell just a little bit. Right, Lily?
I would love to see something like this, like a enrichment in the summertime. These guys love it. And I don't know if you could do something like that for 2 weeks, just.
Okay, I'm gonna talk briefly about our school level committees. Our LSIC team is working on some school improvements, just some beautification around the building, maybe around their sign out front. Getting some outdoor basketballs. The ones we have is pretty old. I did get one donated from the Mullins Foundation. I do have it, so I'm gonna put it out back, and I'm hopefully gonna purchase one for out front. For PBIS, we've been implementing PBIS, and when we started at the beginning of the year, I gave them punch cards. And each teacher has a different punch with a different shape on it. And after they've been using these for a while, the teachers don't really like these. They don't have their punch with them, the students doesn't have their cards or something. So they talked to me about going to maybe some Indian bucks or something. So Lisa and I ordered some coins from Amazon, and we're thinking about going to those for next year for Indian bucks. And it has our Braves on it, which is on our banners in the gym and other areas in the building that has our expectations for students in each area. Our leadership team, we've been trying to meet weekly after Education Solutions came in my building and recommended that I meet with my leadership team weekly. We've been trying to do that on Wednesdays, but not with the crazy weather. It's been looking crazy. But the leadership team did develop, we decided to develop the Indian Care Team. And that is if we have a student that is giving a teacher issues that they need some assistance, they can call for the Indian Care Team. Or if a staff member is having a rough day, they need a break, they can call for the Indian Care Team, and somebody can go and relieve them, let them have a break for a minute if they need it. We are also been implementing capturing kids' hearts. Most of the building was trained on that, and we've been implementing social contracts and of course greeting our students, talking about good things, and then launching our students. The tone and climate of the building. I feel like our school maintains a positive, welcoming, and respectful tone where students and staff engage in open, constructive dialogue. We emphasize a collaborative spirit, fostering an environment where everyone feels valued and heard. And the climate at our school is nurturing and inclusive, promoting a sense of community and belonging. We are committed to creating a safe space where diverse ideas and perspectives are embraced. Our environment encourages academic growth, personal development, and social responsibility. So our attendance in 23-24, our average attendance rate was 92. And for this year so far, it is 93.8. So we are improving in our attendance a little bit. Since implementing PBIS, we've had a decrease in lunch detention and office referrals. Lunch detentions for the first semester last year was 79, and lunch detentions for the first semester this year has been 22. So we've had a significant decrease in that. Implementing PBIS, getting our grades, expectation posters out. Our suspensions for the first semester last year, we had 32, and for this year, for the first semester so far, it's been 20. So we're sure that PBIS is definitely, I feel like, allowing us to improve. Okay. And that is all that I have, Mr. Henry.
Thank you. Board members,
Great job.
any questions for Ms. Bailey? Or I was really impressed with the STEM activities here today, seeing the students engaged in that.
They love it.
Was a lot of
This
fun.
gym has a lot of
It was
students that.
A good example of problem solving, and I'll say, when I was that young lady's age, I don't know that I could have sat in front of a group of adults and continued to want to solve that problem, and she stuck with it. She had some teammates to help her, but that was very impressive. And giving them those opportunities, I think is a big deal, because I would have loved something like
I would
a
have too.
VR experience when I was in school. What a way to be able to experience visually some of those things that typically we wouldn't get to see in West Virginia. Anybody swam with a shark? No thanks. But I would want to do it on a VR headset. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. But in person, not so much. But very good job. Showing lots of growth on benchmarks as well. I wrote down several notes here, but we're impressed with those red numbers going away. That's what you want to see, and see your other colors increase. And in several benchmark areas, you saw students moving from green to blue. That's great. That's really good. So, good job.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
your team.
Thank you. Great job.
That's for information only, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you. Good job.
And thank you for the drinks and the snacks as well.
You're welcome.
And thanks for sharing your students with us.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, item number 2, individuals or groups being at large wishing to address the board.
None at this time. We had a gentleman, but Mr. Stewart was able to speak with him and took care of him.
Consent agenda.
Board members, as you see in your packet, we have several items under the consent agenda that we would bring to your attention. Consent agenda items A, minutes from the January 20. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Stumbling over my words here. Jeez, thinking about that shark, I think. That shark's got me tore up, you know?
I take care of that shark. Don't you worry.
You can catch that shark, and as long as it doesn't break your bowl, right?
I know.
January 27th and February 3rd board minutes are on pages 4A through 4B. Also, under extracurricular, special fundraising and bus requests, pages 5 through 39B. 39A and 39B are new pages. C is budget supplements and transfers from pages 41 to 108. And then our P card statement, ID, is on page 109 through 111. And we're happy to answer any questions about any of those items on A through D. Mr. Stiltner, when the board is ready, I do recommend consent agenda items to you as presented.
Okay.
Lots of fundraising in there this meeting.
Right.
cheerleaders back from their trip to Florida.
They are back,
How
yes.
they do?
I think they had a good time. They did not place, but they worked really hard to get a good routine ready. I think they had a really good experience. One of them told me there's no tired like Disney tired. And I would have to agree with that. There is no tired like Disney tired. The only other tired that might compare to that is moving. Packing up and moving your stuff. That would be the only other thing that I could compare to that.
Did the lady from Huff get with you on those errors? Finally, did you ever get the information?
We've reached out to her and we've told her that all she needs to do is send us a quote and we'll do a requisition and take care of it. Have you heard anything, Mr. Stewart? I haven't. We'll follow back up. We did tell them we would cover that.
Okay, that's great. That's great. All of these have been vetted, Mr. Henry.
Correct. That's correct.
There's
Yes.
one on our transfer, I'm trying to find your.
Page 39.
Mr. Stewart said page 39, Mr. Bridge.
Running with the wrong crowd. Is that the one? Right.
39. Not 39, is it? Yeah.
Page 39.
It says, him with the wrong crowd needs new atmosphere.
Yeah, spoke with his family extensively the other day.
And I can hear you.
I spoke with his family extensively the other day, and after speaking with Mom, I think this is a very positive move for the young man. He is just running with some folks that are starting to take him down the wrong road, and she feels like he needs to be pulled out of that and focus on schoolwork and a place where those folks aren't at in his face all day.
Is anybody looking at those that are taking down the wrong road?
Well, most of it's happening because they're running together after school.
After school?
Yes. Yep. The Magic Mark parking lot is a dark and dismal place for Wyoming County right now.
Yeah.
If I ever win the lottery, Magic Mart is coming back. We may have to change the name for copyright purposes, but if I ever win the lottery, Magic Mart will be coming back. That's a promise.
I'm sure it is yes, tremendous.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be one of the things on my bucket list too.
There's a whole lot more people lose than a lot of those wins.
That's true. Haven't won yet,
Yeah.
but that goal's still out there, though.
Yeah.
Can't if you don't dream it, you can't achieve it.
Next step is buying a ticket.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to do that first, right?
Well, you can dream it, but you gotta put your plan in
Okay, any
that.
other questions on the consent agenda? Okay. Recommendation made by the superintendent. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Motion been made and accept. Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is Doug with us?
Yes.
He said aye.
He said aye.
5-0, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Steltner. Thank you, board members.
Public hearing number 2, Columbia County Schools calendar for 2025-26.
This will be for just information only. As we explained in our last board meeting, this is our second required hearing to hold to be able to gain any input that we can on next year's school calendar. And I would defer to Mr. Stewart at this time.
I haven't heard anything, any recommendations from out and about yet, regarding the calendar. Everything is headed in the right direction with development of that, and timelines are right on track. So I believe we're in good shape with the school calendar for next year.
My wife said make sure you take them snow days out of it.
So we're not allowed to have any snow days next year.
We'll try to predict those, Mr. Pritchard. We'll try our best to predict
You
those.
won't know what 2 boys in the house can do.
I'm hoping for a La Nina, El Nino, whatever it is that gives us a warm winter next year.
There better not be any yellow jackets no leaves this summer.
If they haven't frozen, they've drowned at this point.
That's for information only, Mr. Still.
When will it be put out to the vote?
We usually do that in April, around the April range. So it should be ready to start being looked at that way in probably about 3 weeks.
Come to the board for final.
Yes.
Yes.
Once we get to drafts, we'll let you take a look at those and then send them out to our employees to vote.
I'm liking this, all that program is fun. I like it.
Okay, number 5, superintendent's update.
Mr. Stewart, the only thing that we have, I've talked with my team, the only thing that we have is just a reminder of our bid openings today at the board office. I talked to TJ yesterday, and he's gonna be there probably right around 12, and he'll have things set up, and right at 1, we'll close the door, and it's a process where envelopes are given to TJ, and then they read through, and we should have a pretty good idea today of who we will bring to you for recommendation.
Now, is this something that the board needs to be there?
You don't have to, but you're certainly, anyone can come. Anyone can come and watch those bids be open. If you'd like, you can come by the board office. It's going to be held downstairs.
Madison and Cole Short, you're being picked up.
It's going to be held downstairs in the board meeting room. Those bids have to be delivered today, so they have up until 1 o'clock. But it's not something you have to attend, but you certainly can. If you're not able to attend, one of the 3 of us will call you today with some results to give you an idea of what we'll be bringing to you.
Okay. Number 6, consideration of personnel recommendation.
Miss Lane has sent you an updated list.
How's she doing?
Much better.
That's great.
Much better.
Raymond Gentry, please
Yeah,
come to
she
the office.
has been back to work several days,
Oh, yeah.
but she's doing much better. She's a little stubborn like the rest of us. She doesn't like to be away, and but I think she's feeling much better.
On that church secondary teacher, that Carlos Portillo, she's all on leave of absence after January 31st, and she resigned after that. What's going on there?
I would recommend that we go into executive session to talk specifically about an employee. That it's not anything that she's in trouble for or anything like that. She's going to be recommended for, but probably be a good idea for us to go into executive session.
Make most one executive session.
Okay. Motion been made.
I'll second.
Made second. All those in favor?